Hello, welcome to week 10, the last video. So in the previous video, that's week 9, we did the 4-bedroom bungalow from design up to the stage. And today we'll be looking at detailing. And one of those things we're looking at is the tags. So tags are for details and they're done in the floor plan. So I'll go to my project browser and then go to my flow level. Just on this level, we want to do details, we want to put in the tags. So here, go to the annotate tab. So it's on this annotate tab that we'll find out how do we dimension, how we can tag it. So here we have different types of dimensions. In this case, our floor plan is at an angle. So what works with this is the aligned dimension. So when I select it, I click. So with Revit, you would select the points. I'll start that again so I can get to the edge. So we select the aligned, and then remember wherever I select that is blue is what is going to pick. So we have our center line here. Let me do center to center. And then you click and click, and then click to the points that we want to dimension, center of the column, and then center of this wall, and then select how far we want to place that, and then click. We can get to the window. So we're using the align dimension tool. So we can get to the window point. So when we see the blue guideline, that shows us that we have selected the line. So this is the align dimension tool for linear. We're talking about a straight line. So go ahead and make a straight wall to show us how that works. The wall, architectural properties, what kind of wall am I drawing? It's 150 mm. So if I have a straight wall, the linear tool is for horizontal and vertical walls. So this way, because we have the horizontal and vertical walls, we can go ahead and do the annotate, pick the linear tool, and then we can go pick that, and then I'm zoomed in there, pick it from here to here, and then drop it. So we have our vertical and horizontal dimensions. And then the other dimension tools, we have angular, radial, diameter. So angular will give us the angle between two things. So let's say I want to know the angle between the two walls. Let's pick the angular and then come here and here. So we see that we have 90 degrees. And then radial, we will need something that has a radius for radial. So that kind of wall, we can escape to come out of that command. So if I go to architecture, the wall architectural. So over here we have our different drawing, that we have different geometries. So for radial, I'm picking a circle, and then I'll do two types of circle and then one to show the two. So 1, 2, and then I will pick this for an arc. So get us an arc and then place it. So going back to annotate, and then we add the radial. So here I can select the inner point or the outer point or the center line. So center line gives me my radius. So come out and then click. So that tells me it has the 1000 mm radius. And then the next one is for the diameter. So you know the relationship between the radius and diameter. The diameter is 2 times the radius, or radius is half the diameter. So now we're getting the full width of that circle, which is 2400. And then we look at the third thing. So escape, come out of that, and then go for arc length. We select the line, which in this case is the outer line, and then the beginning and the end. And then we see that the length of this arc is 2078 mm. So back to the Annotate tab, we have what we call the spot elevation. So for the spot elevation, we want to know the heights at the different points in this floor plan. So for the spot elevation, we select it. And so you see that if for each one is changing, this is 0, this is 300 here, 300. We're coming to the building. I can click. So if I come here, we see 1650. So let's start with the stairs. And then you can have a leader that shows us where the point is that we're referring to. I do the spot elevation. It gives you for the edges there, go there, and then give you the height. And so this gives me 1650. I click it there. And then I go to, where's my kitchen? Yes, so go to the kitchen. It's telling me the height. So if I hover on it, the wall, and where we're clicking on, if we want to get for the slab, 450, that's what I'm looking out for. And then we can turn off what we call the leader and the shoulder. And then when I click, I can have a choose to place it on the left or the right, and then click. So that is for the spots elevation. And so I'll select all instances, select all instances in the entire project, and can do them. And then we say spot coordinates. The next one is the spot coordinates. It tells us displays the north. So for every icon, if you hover on it, it will tell you what it is. So spot coordinates will display the north, south, and east-west coordinates of points in a project. We can place the spot coordinates on floors, walls, topo surfaces, and boundary lines. We can also place spot coordinates on non-horizontal surfaces and non-planar. So if I pick the spot coordinates, I want to know exactly where this main lounge is. The wall there. So if I click on it, it tells me the orientation using the northeast direction here. I go to this other point, and this is giving us the orientation, and then click to put that in place. So spot coordinates. So Ctrl Z, take that out. And then spot slope for where we have slopes. So let's make a slope, and then we see how does that work. So if I want to get a slope from, it says floor to roof level, so I want to make that slope from ground to floor level. So let's say level 1 to the floor level. And so I can try to make a slope here, a ramp here. Level 1 to floor level, it's very long level. Okay, so place it and then check mark. So we have that ramp, and then I will move it to end where the floor level ends. And then you can use your direction keys to move that, and then rotate. So we can drag when we want to rotate. To select rotate, we can drag that to a point, and then take this. The line is slightly off axis. Okay. So if I want to look exactly at this thing I've done, I will go to my view, Under this 3D view, I have my camera. So if I do this, it will maybe take me to that view, and I can increase these extents or take off the section box. So when it's selected here, we have the crop view, crop region. Oh, this is always dragging this, but we can always do that here, crop, and then yeah, so we can see the ramp going up to that level. And with the staircase, with the ramp, we can always delete these handrails. So we can take out the one that is resting on the wall. And also adjust the settings there. The slab can be adjusted. So always copy before changing the attributes of this thing. So I'll duplicate and then give it a ramp. Just give it an annotation TL. So for this slab, you can pick the material ramp type. I've used the concrete cast in place for the slab. So same thing, concrete cast in situ. Okay. I'm looking out for the thickness of this slab. Okay, so we can either pick, go to the shape, can be thick or solid. So okay, and then we see that it doesn't just go a uniform thickness, but it fills out the space under it. Okay, so with this ramp here, you can see we are ADA compliant now. So we will check and go through here, and then people can go up the steps here. And in this view, remember how we talk about this, looking at the views at the base here, we can look at things through the wireframe. We can look at things through hidden lines, which was where we were, and then we go to shaded, and then we go to consistent colors. And then last is realistic. So it gives you the kind of material texture that you have picked for the drawing. So in this ramp, we wanted to look at the spot height. So what do we do? Go back to our flow level and then go to annotate. In annotate, we are looking at the spot for the slope. So if I zoom in, it gives us that this is 83, and then this is, so the ramp is reported in fractions, so we can change that. So I'm going to delete this up here, select this, edit type, and then duplicate. So slope 2. I'm using the acronyms TL, so slope TL. Okay, and then we want to change the units. Let's go down to units format, and then what do we want to see it as? We can use the ratio. I know we're used to that 1 in something, or we can use percentages. We can ratio can be described as 1 is to something or ratio to 1. I think I was used to the 1 ratio style. So you choose which works for you, and then okay. So it's 1 in 12. Some rules say 1 in 10. This is 1 in 12. So we can check the codes for that authority area that we're going out for approval. What does the code say for ramps? And make sure that it aligns with the drawing. So back to the annotation. We have just done the sports slope. So looking at detail lines, we have been using the detail lines a lot in doing like sort of construction guidelines for detail lines. So another thing we need to know is that we can use this geometry that we have up here. So go to somewhere else that's clear to draw our detail lines. Let's say we have one line here, and then we have putting out 3 lines. We can select a line and change the line style. So we can make it a center line, and to change, we can make this a medium line, and then it will not be as light as this other line. So it's darker. We can make this lighter line. Also, wide line. I see that it's darker here. We can come over here and change this line to, I think we see hidden line. So hidden, and then see the uniform hidden. So knowing our line types helps, and then what do we want to represent with the drawings? We talk about part of travel lines, so different types. So you see that it changes to the green color too. And then we have the next one as the region. So we have a field region and we have maxed region. So the difference between these two, the field region is kind of like where we say hatch in AutoCAD. So do we want to hatch? We want to fill out where we're drawing. And then masking is what do we want to mask, as the name entails. So reading any icon will explain further. So the mask region creates a graphic that obscures elements in a project or family. We can create 2D masking regions in a project or in the family editor when creating a 2D family, the annotation, detail, or title block. We can create 3D masking regions in the family editor when creating a model family. One thing I want us to take away from these lessons is that it's a learning process, it's continuous learning, and this software, they are made for us to easily know what each one is. We don't have to memorize things. We need to know what we want to do, and then with every step, there's guidance, and you can always go to the Autodesk website, Revit, you can go to YouTube and watch people draw these things. But we want us to get to the point where we can do these things faster. So an example for the region, I've selected field region, and then it's asking me to select the line. Okay, so let's say we start off with the line, and then I'm going to change that to a curve. So if I make it straight, I can always do this and then go back to my straight line. I have this region for my field region masking. So once I check the mark, it's giving me straight lines. So I can edit the type and then check what do I want to fill it with. It will give me straight lines for plastic. We can change it to any of these patterns that we're seeing here. If I pick the wood, okay. So it's giving me wood finish. And then with this mask, we can edit the boundary. And that way you see that the boundaries are not changing to the pink magenta color. We can adjust the lines. So I'm making this a wide line and this a wide line. And then we can come over here and then make it look like it's a continuous by choosing invisible here. We're making invisible here. And then I can make this hidden line. So when we check that, you see the kind of effect that creates for us. That these ones are hidden, this is hidden, and these ones are invisible, and then here's hidden, and these are wide lines. So you can see the kind of our result or the output we want to get graphically. Okay, so for the masked region, let's select the masked region. Also, I have to pick geometry. So here, because it's masked, I can pick invisible lines. I'm gonna pick a circle. So I want to mask this area and check. So we see that we have our masked region there. So let me select it. And then I can move it up to the edge. And then say bring to front. So bring the front. And then edit the boundary again. You can change the line type here, select it as invisible lines. We can have hidden lines for it too. We can have medium lines. And let's see what overhead lines look like. Okay, so check. And so we have a mask region showing. And then the components, talked about detail and repeated detailing. So this we can use in the detailing parts. Let's see. If I come back to the plan, detail components. So it's giving us a beam there as a component that's selected. We'll place that. we have a detail component, and then we can edit the type and then do the settings. Remember to duplicate before we do that. And then the other option, so detail component 1, and then go to annotate, repeated detail component. So that way we can have a lot repeated here. And this is the example for a brick. So it depends on what you want to show with the drawings. And so let's go back to annotate. Don't component revision cloud. So for revision cloud, we come and draw that cloud over a spot there, and then go ahead and edit it, do because at that edge, select, and then we can rename and then edit. We have videos that will show what to do with the revision cloud. So we go to annotate, and then we have something called the detail group. So for this detail group, you can, if you say place a detail group, it will say there are no detail groups, so cancel. And then if I come over here and select this, go to annotate, and then in this place it says create a detail group. So we're creating it, give it a name, detail group 1, and then okay. So now we have a group. So if we go to annotate, we go back to annotate, and then we say in the detail group to place detail group. So there are no detail, so cancel, go back here. I'm selecting this now. No, go to, let me select actually the details, that's the problem. So select the details here, and then go to annotate, and then make the detail group, create a detail group. So detail group 3L1, and okay. So we have created the detail group. We go to annotate, and then under detail group, we say place detail group. So now we can place that group that we have made. That's is details as many times as possible. So it's kind of a copy, but now we're copying the details. Yes, so Control V. I think we can, okay, so installation is more detailed when we have the style of construction, where we have spaces between the walls, we can use the installation. Another thing we want to look at is the text. So we click on text, and usually if you click on the text, that's how we've gotten the names of the spaces here. I also write outside, so we draw that box, and then see, I'm going to type sites analysis. And so we have our text here. We have text here. So we also have the spell checking for the text. So selecting the text again. If I say edit type and duplicate to create my own type of text now, I'm going to say text TL. Okay, so that way I can adjust the sizes. We saw that we saw the size that we have now, 2.5. I can make this 5.0. And so that will give me like double the size. I can make it Italy size and make it bold. Make it underlined. The width factor is 1 here, so we can make that 3. And okay, so I'll come here, I'm in text TL. If I click in the space, I write the same size, and please space. But now maybe just give it the wrong spelling. So I and take. So now let's move this away from here. Select and drag it. Move away from the drawing. And then we have our site analysis. So we want to make a spell check. So check the spelling, and it's telling me the different ways I can spell this correctly instead of Analysis, I can see SES, SIS, which is what I'm looking out for. And I say change. So it has changed the spelling for me. So we can use this to check our spellings in the drawings. So the Revit finished spell checking. You want to continue checking the media review? No, I'm done with the checking. So site analysis checked and spelled correctly. So find and replace also works. So we already have some text in the drawing. So if I click on a find and replace, what do I want it to find for me? Let's see, I want it to change things where there are a lot of them, it might take time. So I'm telling it to look for anywhere it says room and change it to space. Okay, so if I say find all, text not found. Okay, so it wants us to have a full word that is in the space. So I'm going to change that to bedroom and say find all. It says not found. Okay, so I'll use toilet instead. Toilet. I want something that is repeated. So toilets appeared more than once. So find all. Close. Current view entire project. So find all now. Close. Match query. So let me do this to work out. So find all. Close. So find and replace. Let's try that again. We say find toilet, find all, close. Okay, so I think I need to change the type of the text that is on. So go to the text and then make this the 2.5, which I've used. So now go back to find and replace. We're looking out for toilets, spelling correct, entire project, and then do this. Try in a different view of building and search the entire project, which is we already have the entire project on. Context. Okay, so this is something that we need to figure out later. What's find or replace works in AutoCAD with Excel. So I haven't used it in Revit a lot. So uncheck, close. Okay, so I'm going to select this text before I do it. So most times, oh, I see what happens. So these are room tags, not text. So you cannot find the text in the tag. So if I select this, you see that this comes up as a room tag. So one thing I always say is the computer is always right. And then, so let's use what we typed in, which is sites. Okay, so find and replace. So we're looking out for sites. And then we'll say find all. So it has found the sites for us. And then we want to replace with land because it's so site and land, we say replace all. So 2 items replaced. So close. So we see that site has changed to land analysis. Okay, so the next thing we do is to go for the tag. So we have 2 types of tag by category and then tag all. So the first one, tag by category, we're going to the walls. We'll come where there's enough space to place that. So I'm tagging the walls. And then if I select it and give it, let's say number 1, changing the type parameter, it will affect millimeters. So that way, every wall that I go, give me a 1. So this, so create similar, I select that tag. I'm still with the tag. So hit escape and then create similar. That way we can go to the walls. So all the walls that have the same type will have the same tag. And then if we go to tag all, so this comes up with the group. So what do we want to tag? Let's say we want to tag the doors, door tags. and then we say apply. So all the doors get automatically tagged. So if I look at the doors now, so that the doors all have numbers in them. Right, so we'll stop here today. I wish you all practice. Send me an email message if you need to clarify something. Thank you all. I wish you all the best.